Welcome to another exclusive episode of Casa Big Boy Trav. It's good to be back. We have been up and about all over the world checking out the news for you, and we have an exclusive show including the K250 bike. We saw how it was built in Netherlands. We also sampled the Navara, and of course we have more details on the Hiace. But first things first, let's check out the news. Mitsubishi Motors now unveils the Mitsubishi Triton Absolute. Now this is a pickup that is aimed at the rivals, the Ford Raptor and the Toyota Hilux TRD. Tough, heavy and dependable. Now Mitsubishi have just said that this particular pickup will be full of carbon fiber. I don't know why, but in the essence of building a Bosch image, it will have tougher suspension, springs, and of course the engine will remain unchanged. It is a 2.4 litre twin turbo diesel producing 133 kilowatts and 430 newton meters of torque. We can't wait to sample this particular car, because remember, at the end of the day, it's all competition. The Raptor is out, Toyota's bringing out the new model, and of course now, the Mitsubishi Absolute is going to be a killer. So Porsche has come late into the coupe SUV game. Remember, the likes of the BMW X6, the Mercedes GLE, and of course the Range Rover Velar have been in existence for quite a number of years. Now Porsche have come up with the Cayenne Coupe. I know it is a controversial design. It will probably grow on you just the way the Panamera did for me. Now this particular car comes in two states of tune. You have a 3-litre V6 twin turbo producing 250 kilowatts and 450 newton meters of torque, enough to take you from 0 to 100 in 6.5 seconds before terminating at a top speed of 243 kilometers an hour. Now if you love more power, then you have the Cayenne Coupe Turbo, which is a 4-litre V8 that's found on the Volkswagen Group. It produces a whopping 404 kilowatts and 750 newton meters of torque. Now that is enough to take you from 0 to 100 in 3.9 seconds before terminating at a top speed of 286. Porsche have come out guns blazing. We hope that the next X6 and the Range Rover Velar SVR will be able to challenge this particular car. So we start with a messenger text from Sammy Argetonto, who says, "Hi guys, I like that Toyota Rush. I hope this year that the Almighty will do a miracle for me and own one. Well, we pray for you that you get the Rush. Please visit Toyota, come and check out the Rush and give you a test drive. Then you'll make a decision if you want to buy the Rush." So the second comment comes from Twitter, a guy called Peter Ned_Stark. And he says, "Hi CBBT, I would like you to gauge the performance between the Volkswagen Amarok, the Ford Ranger and the Mahindra S6 M-Hawk." Guys, I will do that review. I haven't done the M-Hawk before, but I'll ask the relevant people to give me the opportunity to sample the M-Hawk and do a head-to-head. And we'll give you all that exclusive coming soon. The last tweet comes from Hamilton Mwamburi at Wolf of Emirates. He says, "We talk about foreign car sales and road performance a lot. More than a lot, actually. Me, I want to know about the Mobius. How is it faring in the market? How does it perform on the road?" Well, Mr. Hamilton, it's not that we don't want to do the Mobius, but this particular company are a bit shy of media and they are still in development stages of building their car. The moment you get a chance to review the Mobius, we'll give you an exclusive and tell you how it performs on the market, how it is on the road, and of course build quality. That's it guys. Keep texting, keep tweeting, follow us on our social media handles below, and we'll read them next week. Welcome to another exciting review courtesy of Casa Big Boy Trav. Today we are sampling a brand with heritage. Close to 60 years, Nissan has been synonymous with the pickup truck. Remember the Datsun Debe? Fast forward to the Sahara, then the first edition of the Atoti, the hard body, then the Navara, which is generation 1, 2004-2005, and now we have the brand new Nissan Navara straight from Nissan Japan, and it's ready to conquer the world. First things first, what differentiates this particular car from the rest of the hard? Let's start with the interior. It looks very car-like. Remember, the Navara was the first pickup to now incorporate the designing of work and play in the design concept. This on the second generation now is even more enhanced. You do have a passenger-like feel. The dashboard looks like it's been lifted straight from the Nissan X-Trail with the piano black finish over here, the center console, and of course is a touchscreen information display that houses the climate control, which is dual zone, the audio system, which is okay and has Bluetooth, MP3 functionality, and of course you can pair your phone and you can control and make calls via the phone. And then you do also have speech recognition system that allows you to control certain functions of this particular car without taking your hands off the wheel. Let's try. Turn on radio.
Radio.
Now that helps you to concentrate on the road because you don't need to take your hands off the steering wheel when driving. So it's very important. It's intuitive. It can listen to you and it can actually tapping into your vocals so that you can get crystal clear clarity of when you're combining it to do certain functions. That said, the multi-color information display also houses the navigation system, which works in Africa. It's called Tracks for Africa. It's preloaded into an SD card, which you place it over here on the slot. And once you place it in, then you're able to literally navigate the whole of Africa, including the beaten tracks. Everywhere it's mapped towards that, and then it's upgraded frequently so that during service you're able to upgrade the system to new roads as it's been mapped by Tracks for Africa. So this is a very important function in this day and age. Going down to the gearbox console, of course, over here, we do have some certain features and locks. This particular car is four-wheel drive, remember. So it has a switchable on-the-fly system that you can switch from too high and too low. You have to stop at some point and switch it to two-wheel drive or four high or four low, depending on the situation that you're driving in. Again, it also have diff lock and hill descent control. The instrument panel on the driver's side is very clear with italics very visible, so that you're able to concentrate on the road without dazzling your eyes. It's illuminated in a light blue hue as well. I don't know if that's a color for most manufacturers, but that said, in the middle of the two dials where the speedometer and tachometer is an instrument, an LCD instrument warning system that gives you the vital information. So if your doors are open, if you're low on fuel, if you're switching from two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive, it will give you all that information with ease. Again, you have a menu that you can toggle through it'll give you the range of the vehicle, average speed, trip distance, fuel economy, and of course the music that you're playing on the sound system. That said, the seats are very comfortable. It's a 5-seater and I like the space in the Navara. At the front, you do have a suede finish, which is very good. You have side bolsters that keeps you very comfortable over long distances, and of course lumbar support over here. And of course you do have your safety belt, which is a key component on your safety. At the back, you do have plenty of head and leg room for even rear passengers, so you do have plenty of space to seat 3 people comfortably. That said, this particular car, in terms of safety, has a mix of active and safety systems. You do have, on the active side, you do have anti-lock braking system with EBD, which is electronic brake force distribution, and brake assist. But in case all else breaks loose, then you can rely on the electronic stability program to get you out of trouble. And in case things go bad, then you have 7 airbags, including the knee airbag over here, to protect you and your family from harm's way. That's why we need to go to the back and see the capability of this Nissan Navara. Let's go. Guys, at the back you can see the Nissan Navara's boot is quite spacious. It's deep enough to accommodate your luggage, and now with this highly accessorized version you can actually get a canopy courtesy of Nissan. And that said, if you don't want a canopy, you can also get a tonneau cover, the retractable one, and it has movable anchors so that you can be able to pin down your luggage, your load, your vegetables, name it. This particular car can handle it. And of course you do have a 12-volt socket right there to power your stuff. It could be a tire regenerator or a fridge, could be anything. But that's it. You need to find out if this car is capable of road. Remember, this particular car is against the Toyota Hilux, the Ford Ranger, the Isuzu D-Max, the Tata Xenon, and so many more. So stay big boy drive, and Mirit will join me as do this review together. So guys, we are in the interior of the Hiace or Hiace, as you normally call it. Now this particular vehicle has gone through a series of revolutionary design. Remember the old one? It was a boxy dashboard that was forward facing. It felt like you're driving a truck. Even the steering position, it felt like you're driving, a truck. But now with this particular Hiace, it's all changed. It looks like it's more forward face cabin. It feels like you're driving a passenger car, maybe like a Hilux. So you do have a well-designed dashboard, which is not too complicated, neither is it too fancy. It's just practical enough to get the job done. You have plenty of cubby holes and spaces, and remember, practicality is the name of the game with the Hiace. So you do have a big space here, which I believe in other markets would have been a navigation system. You do have a radio infotainment system that is it's a basic radio Pioneer. So you do have your flash, Bluetooth connectivity, and MP3 if you listen to MP3. You see this space here. So right over here at the instrument binnacle, you do have clear and precise writings. You do have your speedometer, which is basic, and you can see visually all the critical speed aspects. This has a governor at 80 kilometers an hour, which is fitted standard in this particular Hiace from Toyota Kenya. And then you do have an odometer screen that gives you the mileage done in this vehicle, the trip A and trip Bs. And then you also have signs for your engine check, coolant, ABS, everything that you need to know when you're driving this Hiace over long distance. At the back, this particular car has plenty of space. Let's go to Mr. Mirigi. He's going to show us the real value for money in the Hiace.
So like Trevor said, the Toyota Shark has been a fixture of transport in Kenya for the longest time. This particular variant with a high roof and the wide body can be configured in a very wide variety of options. It can be anything from a transportation panel van to a matatu for long distance, to an ambulance, to a hearse. So it basically depends on what you as a customer wants to do with this. So Toyota Kenya is willing to fit this with a variety of options on the interior. So that comes from the roof to the seats, to everything that you want to do inside here. The inside of the Toyota Hiace is very comfortable. The Shark, they've done air conditioning across the entire body of the car itself. The windows are easy to open. This particular car is about 64,000 km and there's nothing that's rattling. So it's actually very well built. Suspension is very soft. It's easy for you as a passenger in the back here to sit and be very comfortable. The current setup we have right now is for passengers. It's the 10-seater variant. You can do the 10, 14 and 16-seater on this long panel van option with a high roof. So with the 10-seater, this is now what you'd call a luxury coach class. And as you can see, you can actually even recline the seats if you need to. Safety is an option, obviously, so all of them have safety belts. Very comfortable setup. So this is just one of the available setups that you can do. All you need to do is talk to Toyota Kenya, let them know what your options are, and they'll give you a very wide range of seats, floors, and interiors to make sure that your experience with the Toyota Hiace is A1. So with this particular 10-seater variant, you still have a lot of space at the back here for luggage. As you can see, there's a very wide opening, so it's very easy to get almost anything you want to get inside here. The entrance over here also down is very low, so it allows you to carry stuff inside here very easily. Like Trevor said, this can carry between 1.2 and 1.6 tons if you choose to use it as a panel van for transport. So generally, this thing is extremely versatile. Whether you're using it for passengers or for cargo, this thing has your back. If you're in Biashara, this is the vehicle for you.
Now the Hiace has been part and parcel of our motoring furniture for many years. Everybody has grown up and been in the Hiace. So if you're in the commuter business, or if you're in the transportation business, or if you are using it for basically as a delivery vehicle. Now, the reasons why this particular model has become very popular in Kenya is because of 1, fuel efficiency, 2, power, 3, strong body and chassis, number 4, high resale value. Those are the key factors that have made the Hiace very, very popular, including even in the grey market. Now, this particular model that I'm driving is the 2017-2018 version, and it is actually powered by a 2KD engine. Now, the 2KD engine is already popular with the likes of the Toyota Fortuner and the Hilux, and of course, it comes with 76 kilowatts and 260 Newton meters of torque, all powered to the rear wheels courtesy of a 5-speed manual. In some markets, you can get a 5-speed automatic. Again, It depends on your market. Many people who own the Matatu business are into making profits, having a vehicle that is as profitable and carries more. Remember, this particular version of the Hiace is the wide body version, so it's about 18 people, although you can get the short wheelbase version that carries 14. So guys, we've tested the Hiace or Shark in extremities. Well, not extreme, but in these conditions, daily conditions that it operates in. And I can tell you for a fact that it operates in such conditions, and there's a reason why people love it, because it's spacious enough, it's comfortable, it's efficient, it's got power. Now this particular unit costs Kenya shillings 3.8 million with seats included, and it comes with something called the rough road package. So you have hardened suspension, bushes, tropicalized radiators, so that it can be able to handle the unique African terrain, the Kenyan one. Okay. Now, Mr. Murigi, would you buy this over a second-hand Hiace?
At the moment, the price of a second-hand Hiace is somewhere between 3 to 3.1 million shillings.
Yes.
This, as you know, is actually assembled in Kenya, in Mombasa at AVM, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
That's why the pricing between this and a used one is actually, the gap between the price of this showroom Hiace and an import is actually very low right now, somewhere between 600,000 to 700,000. It doesn't make sense at the moment, if you're using this for business, whether it's passengers or cargo, to buy a used one when you can buy this off the showroom with seats inside for 3.8 million.
And remember, it comes with a 3-year, 100,000 kilometer warranty, and you can rely on Toyota's extensive network. These guys know how to handle the 2KD engine. Remember, when you're buying an import Shark from Japan, which is 8 years old, it has to be tropicalized. So the grade 1 bushes suspension you have to buy brand new. You have to change your winter tires. You have to change your radiator. You have to put a long life diesel particulate filter to just make sure that this particular thing runs well. And then there is the cost of seats. You don't want to endanger the lives of your passengers by using those kienyeji seats where they're bolted and riveted. These ones are built straight from Toyota specifications, so you can remain safe while driving or being a passenger in the Hiace.
Welcome to Kibo Motorcycles. We're here in Amsterdam. My name is Hype from the Grijspaarden. In Kenya, people call me Mr. Hype. The frame is on the outside of everything that's vulnerable. So the engine is on the inside, battery, carburetor, air filter, all these sensitive components, they're protected by the frame.
We've also been in Nairobi ourselves, and we experienced how motorbikes are being used there, and we saw that the top speed is not that high, and also the distance covered each day is not that high. It will be about 100 or 150 kilometers max. So if we can make this bike have a range of about 150 kilometers, I think you can cover an entire day on one charge, which would make it easier, so you can just do the charging overnight, of which the power can be generated by solar energy.
Guys, I have been amazed at the level at which Kibo has done and developed bikes for Africa. From the K150 to the K250, which has just been launched recently. I mean, these guys are trying their best to ensure that they offer mobility solutions for Africa. Mr. Murigi, you've seen the design and conceptualization of the K150 to K250. What do you think?
I think they've built a really solid product, and you know, if it's built in Africa, it will work anywhere in the world, so the world is open to them. It's a really good product. I love what they've done with the K250, because what they did is they took feedback from the guys who have been driving the original bike, the K150, and they've made that actually happen. So it means it's a company that's listening to people, listening to what they need, and then delivering on that product. If they can keep doing that going forward, Kibo is going to be a world leader in this bike industry.
We are now somewhere on Gong Hills, and we are about to test the full capabilities of this particular Nissan Navara. I shall start with the power plant. Now, Nissan, in their wisdom, have put a 2.3 liter, which is twin turbo actually, that produces 140 kilowatts and 450 newton meters of torque. Now, all that power is transmitted to the 4 wheels courtesy of a 7-speed automatic gearbox. Now, this gearbox is very interesting because it's quite fast and it allows you to exploit the full potential of the 450 newton meters of torque, and it does have some things that allows you to engage 4-wheel drive. So you do have a transfer case, a 2-speed transfer case. So you have 4 high, 4 low, and 2 high. Mirigi.
Yes, sir.
4-wheel drive capability. How capable is this car? Shall we try?
Yeah, we should.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Guys, behind the wheel of the Nissan Navara. This is a car I have a long history with. We are currently now in 4 high. I think you said that up just before we went in. We're in a fairly reasonable stretch of traffic.
Yes.
I think one of the things that we need to also remember is that most of the owners of these cars are not going to push it to an extreme.
Yes.
The coil springs now with the multi-link suspension at the back make the everyday road use a lot easier. So for most of the other double cabs with the springs at the back, when it doesn't have a load, it keeps bouncing all over the place.
There's that bouncing effect you get all the time.
Yeah, so the thing is, unless you have a load, we're now getting into a bit of a tricky section over here. We call it a multimodal,
yes,
I believe. And it's doing pretty okay. I mean, the engine is pretty fine. It's just walking us up this hill with the minimum of fuss.
So good is the chassis of this particular car, the Nissan Navara, that, remember, the Mercedes X-Class is based on this particular car, and the Renault Alaskan. It tells you something, that Nissan understands how to build a proper pickup truck.
If I was to summarize this pickup in one word,
it
would be refinement.
Yes.
The engine is fantastic. It's this 7-speed automatic. The twin turbo is great because it gives you power at the low end and at the high end as well.
Yes.
It's not too loud.
Yes.
It actually sounds really good. So right now we are testing out the hill descent control. My foot is not on the brake. My foot is not on the accelerator. The car is just taking us down very smoothly, very easily. And like I said before, if I was to describe this pickup in one word, refinement.
Yes.
Refinement from the engine to the gearbox to the style, and to the ease of use of the features that the car has.
We're going to take you through the value for money proposition. Does the Navara tick all your boxes, or do you prefer the rivals? Jane, myself, and Mirigi for this and much more, courtesy of Cars, Big Boy Trev. So guys, we've extensively tested the Nissan Navara. It's tough, capable, and has pedigree, as the name suggests. Question is, would you pick this over the rivals? Now, this particular car costs 6.3 million Kenya shillings with all the bells and whistles, as you can see here. And you can visit Nissan Kenya. They'll give you details on the extensive coverage about servicing this particular car, and you're rest assured if you're driving in the Bundus, your Nissan will be safe. Back to Mr. Mirigi. Rivals, who are they, and should somebody consider this over that?
I think when it comes to the rivals, you can actually split them down between the guys who have a large, long history that they're building upon and the new players into the market. So if you're talking about the heritage players, that would be now the Hilux and the D-Max, have a long history of producing fantastic vehicles. But we also can't forget about the newcomers. That would be now the Ford Ranger and the absolutely excellent Volkswagen Amarok. So it really depends on what type of application that you're looking at, what it is specifically you want to do. Are you looking for a workhorse? Are you looking for a comfortable vehicle that has additional capability?
Guys, thank you so much for joining us on this occasion of Cars with Big Boy Trev. As usual, if you have any questions, comments, or queries, holla, slide in the DMs, let us know what you think about this Hiace. And of course, we need to talk about the rivals, the Nissan Avan and the Nissan Caravan. They're all in the market, but this is the dominant player in this segment. Cheers, guys. Take care. Be safe.
Drive safe. See you next week.